The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high. I wonder when it does now come Rex. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party. The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. They can tell me how we can do it together. When we look at the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PNP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting high. I wonder when it does now come Rex. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. We can tell me how.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National Party.
The scale of dealing with anti-corruption issues. So there is a learning curve that we are going through. What is important is that the government supports the development of the institution so it can accelerate very quickly on that learning curve and provide the resources so that they can move very quickly on the learning curve, and that the government does not intervene or interfere. And that message goes to the opposition as well. Leave the anti-corruption and policing agencies to do their jobs. I know why you come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right stand that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable. And stop making excuses for them.
Hello, welcome. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to our silent supporters. Happy Friday to everyone in television land. And happy Friday to those in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate each and every one. Hope everyone has had a wonderful and productive week, and looking forward to a blessed and wonderful weekend. Remember, guys, when you come in, please thumbs up the live, share us out if you can, and if you're new to the channel, please show us some support by subscribing, and that will be greatly appreciated. Tonight's topic is They Will Be Charged for Corruption, with your host Baron and Marie, Pastor Ricky, and Melting Pot should be joining us shortly. Let me just go ahead and welcome those in the chat. Don Mel, Doris McCoy, Truck Life, Sonia Barracks, Douglas, Carla Ebanks, Jerry Sadler, Patel Cruikshank, Laris Beckford, Paulette MacArthur, Kenneth Campbell, Pamela O'Cullough, Falmouth Girl 2, John Plew, Yvonne Johnson, Una Vassel, Rennie Swaby, Cecile Phillips, Charmaine Murray, Hurricane Hattie, Donna Whitaker, Carol Johnson, Estina Tyne, Barbara Bryant, Matthew Lewis, Freedom, Elga Fletcher, Roe Washington, Clifton Atkinson, Chrisani Frey, Sonia Jones, Love, Bless Up, welcome. Winston Dawkins, bless up yourself. Welcome. Before we start, let us just ask Pastor Ricky to lead us off in a word of prayer.
Amen. Good evening. Good night. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
I was fixing it. Thanks. Sorry,
All right.
I was fixing it. Good evening, everyone in the chat. Let us pray. Father, we thank you. It's Friday, the last day of the work week for many, the day before the weekend. And as we wind down to come together on Mystic Sensation, we thank you for this privilege. Hallelujah. We thank you for this opportunity. We ask, mighty God, that you will continue to just breathe a fresh wind on Lady Anne Marie. Continue to bless her, continue to strengthen her, watch over her from day to day. We pray, mighty God, that you may navigate her thoughts and her thinking and her fingers as she work between the clips and the videos and the documents. We thank you that no distractions. We thank you that everything will work together for good and everything will work in decent and in order according to your will and your purpose. We thank you for your son, Sir Byron. And we ask, oh God, that you will continue to empower him, equip him with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as he does investigation and deep dive information to present to your people to help empower, to equip, and to educate. Bless the both of them, bless their marriage, bless their children, bless their grandchildren, bless them in their going in and their going out. Bless Sir Melton Pot as he joined and his wife. I thank you for the both of them. Continue to give them the grace, the courage, the strength. Bless their marriage. Keep the both of them, their children and grandchildren in perfect peace. Continue to heal his wife. Continue to breathe a fresh wind on her. And we also want to thank you for everyone in the chat and for the sacrifice that they have made from Tuesdays and Fridays to join. They could have been otherwise minded, but because they want to know the truth and what's going on in our beautiful country, Jamaica, land we love, we thank you for them. Bless their children, bless their family, bless their spouses, bless them in their going in and their coming out. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Such wonderful prayers coming from Pastor Ricky, right? Every time we meet here. And I want to say big thanks to all of our supporters who continue to support us, continue to join us right in the fight for our democracy, our fight for our country, our fight for good governance. Now, let me begin in saying that as it relates to Pastor Ricky Pride, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God.
Amen.
And simply saying that when you are leaders, you are expected to lead accordingly as it relates to goodwill and have a moral compass. This is why we are here tonight, going against a government that lacks the goodwill and moral compass. Such an embarrassment to see where we have reached in our politics and our politicians as it relates to their actions, right, is quite suggesting that our people really don't deserve better than when it comes to an election season. We can go out and we can give bonds to them and we can give bread to them. It's so embarrassing when we look and see the Speaker of the House, right, decided that, okay, to maintain political momentum, to gain political mileage, that she believed that a van load of bonds can do the trick. And as a result of that, the people must bypass her corruption. You have seen the Justice Minister right, had gone below the belt. Minister of Justice, giving out bread as it relates to Jamaica resources. And if Jamaica resources managed properly, we shouldn't be having politicians giving out bread and buns. We should have these politicians creating opportunities for the people so that they should be able to buy the bread and buns for themselves. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace to see where inflation is and our people are suffering under Jamaica Labour Party administration. Not too be about that. We have seen where Andrew Holness administration, right, as it relates to a weak economy, still decided to take 200 and 300% increase on a weak economy that cannot sustain those salaries. And yet, he's now on the pursuit in asking the Jamaican people to give him a third term. And if we are to go back to his 100 days promise, not one being delivered. And as I said, that of course coming down onto the wire, you are going to have Andrew Holness promise everything and anything. And he's going to promise that Jupiter is going to join Earth. He's going to do that. And I see, you know, the political ludicrousy, right? Just, you know, being extended as a result of we going down, right, to the wire. But let me say this, Andrew Holness, and let me say this to Jamaican people before I even start the program. Jamaican people need to know that Andrew Holness has no plans to push this country forward. And I'm going to prove it tonight. I make sure that I went so deep tonight in terms of doing an intense research to open all of our Jamaican brothers and sisters' eyes in looking on Andrew Holness. And I am not, social media, right, is not going to allow Andrew Holness to spew lies and venoms and continue to throw poison on our people. Andrew Holness, you will be stopped. Andrew Holness, you will be going to the judiciary. Andrew Holness, we are anticipating your trial. Trust me, when we on social media telling you this. My Jamaican people, in starting, I want to share something with you all that I saw on Facebook, and it disturbed me. It disturbed me in such a way that, trust me, yes. Okay, all right. I was about to show the clip, and my wife said it is not available anymore. And because they took it down, because of despicable it was. So unfortunately, we don't have that clip. All right, let us move on, right, to strong message that we are getting from the People's National Party as it relates to Western St. Mary. My Jamaican people, let me say this, I have all the confidence. And so then Andrew Holness could have spent all the money that he want to spend, buy all the votes that he want to buy through various means as it relates to where you have Darrell Vaz, right, try to utilizing a whole bus, right? Now, all the madness that being played out, regardless of what they are throwing out. Andrew, no, you are not going to win this general election. And as I'm saying to the people, Pastor Ricky,
Yes, sir.
that why Andrew Holness is holding on, fighting on, is to the fact that he doesn't want the Jamaican people to really know the level of his wickedness.
Right.
And Mark Golding is going to expose him. What Mark Golding said, some of them, they are going to charge for corruption. And Jamaican people, it's no joke. There are some things that we are looking on, right, that I don't really want to speak on it yet until the relevant authorities speak on that. But let me tell you something, Jamaica. Let me tell you something. Andrew Holness and his administration, they are in a bind. They are in a predicament. They are in a conundrum. And serious dark clouds hanging over the Jamaica Labour Party administration head. We are going to witness Jamaica. Believe you me, I want Jamaica to wake up to the realization that we are going to witness the first in history.
Yep.
One of our prime ministers will face the judiciary. And I want people to look me in the eyes tonight, because I am dead 100% serious that this must happen. Now, having said that, let us move into St. Mary and see the energy that the People's National Party is generating, right? And no doubt, right, we are going to take you there for you to enjoy the energy. Wonderful. I'm telling you, Mark Golding is on the move. Such a leader that will take us out of the political dilemma that this administration.
Friday, May the 2nd, Orakabessa St. Mary.
Look at this,
The
people.
People's National Party pulled
Look
all
at
the
this.
stops to get out its base.
When I toured St. Mary today, the western section, I felt the vibes of the people. They were happy to see us. It was like PNP is having a revival. PNP is having a resurgence. PNP is standing up tall and strong.
PNP President Mark Golding says he's pleased. Given the support, he says he's no more convinced than ever that the party will win Western St. Mary when the general election is called. The seat now held by the Jamaica Labour Party's Robert Montague, who is also chairman of the JLP. He will do battle against the PNP's Orville Woodbine.
Former Minister Montague, you have a problem. You have a big problem. Because the energy for the PNP in Western St. Mary turn up. And the people are saying, this young man here, this capable, dedicated comrade, Orville Woodbine, is the man who they want to send to Garden House.
If the party wins the upcoming polls, Mr. Golding is promising that farmers in St. Mary are likely to benefit.
Right now, we want to push up the arable lands in this country that are irrigation and serviced by irrigation. We got to invest heavily in irrigation, in farm roads and other systems, credit, to provide financial credit to farmers so that they can afford the working capital to produce.
Take it away, honey. Let me tell you something, Jamaica. Let me tell you something, Jamaica. When I say to you with all the confidence that I have as it relates to Comrade Leader Mark Golding, right, so articulate, right, but a leader with confidence, and a leader, let me stress on this, that has integrity, that has a high moral compass, that came from a foundation of goodwill as it relates to Mark Golding's father. I am confident that Mark Golding, like Ibrahim Traoré, is going to do just parallel like Burkina Faso. If we have a Mark Golding, and we know we are going to have a Mark Golding. When I'm telling you, Jamaica, that the energy is live and well, and I want to take the opportunity in thanking my Jamaican people to have that level of awareness in moving in the right direction. The right direction. And so tonight, I am so overwhelmed with the effort and with the strategy that Mark Golding applies. One of the first things that Mark Golding has done is the utilization of what we call meritocracy. Simple means putting the right person in the right job based on their capacity, their ability, their competence in doing the will of the Jamaican people. In Mark Golding party, you are not going to have a mayor that is going to get 70 out of 10. You will not have it.
Oh, Jesus.
And so then we talk about the right people put in the respective place who have the level of awareness, understanding, functionality to execute service to our Jamaican people. Let me tell Montague why we are going to reject you, Montague. We are going to reject you because the level of your corruption. We are going to reject you because the level of your abuse. We are going to reject you because, of course, you are corrupted. Let us move to the evidence to prove it. Jamaica Gleaner, politician Robert Montague. When we speak over here, we speak volume and we reference information from reputable source. Right, reputable source. So, Mr. Montague, while the Jamaican government can protect you to a limit, the electorate is going to find you guilty. The electorate is saying to you that enough is enough. The electorate is saying to you, no to corruption. Politician Robert Montague denied rape allegations Tuesday, November 10, 2015. Montague says the allegation, which originated on social media, have been reported to the police. The Jamaica Labour Party's shadow minister on mining and energy, Senator Robert Montague, has released a statement denying rape allegation against him. The former government minister is also claiming that the allegations have formed the basis of an attempt to extort him. According to Montague, the matter has been reported to the police. Montague said the matter is being used for political advantage as a general election near. No, I never understand. I can't understand. Is it the People's National Party put you into this predicament so that a young lady can accuse you? I can't understand. Is the People's National Party did tell you to have a relationship with a young lady that is underage, Mr. Montague, that you are blaming the People's National Party to say it being used for political advantage as a general election nears? Is it the People's National Party who are taking out an affidavit against you, Mr. Montague? But this is how you want to politically spin the thing. So let us read on. The rape allegation is contained in what is regarded as a sworn affidavit, Mr. Montague. What is this? What word stated here? Sworn affidavit, Mr. Montague. So then, is it the People's National Party who are taking out the sworn affidavit? No, over the signature of an alleged complainant living in Stratford, London, and witnessed, Mr. Montague, by a justice of the peace. Take this away. Mr. Montague, likes like you shouldn't be in our parliament, Mr. Montague. Abusing our young girls. Abusing our young girls. Likes like you supposed to be in prison, paying the penalty for your actions, sir. And we are saying tonight, this is the reason why the Jamaican people is saying no to you, Mr. Montague. You will not serve a third term. This social media era is going to stop you. We are going to reveal every information that the people need to know. We understand that the Justice Minister is trying his best not to have the sex registry, the sex offender registry being released. Because, of course, companion of them and those are listed. But we are here in this space to educate and inform our people. And let me just pass it on to Pastor Ricky. Pastor Ricky, what say you on the panel?
Thank you, Sir Byron. Let me just say happy Mother's Day weekend to all the mothers in the chat, those who are watching. I pray that you and your children and family will have a blessed Mother's Day when it comes. Now, as it relates to Montague, you know, he, like the Prime Minister, should not be on the ballot. He should step aside and clear his name. Based upon his own utterances in the Parliament, it is said that he's one of the illicit 8 and that is under investigation for illicit enrichment by the Integrity Commission. And so he should not be on the ballot, and he should do the honorable thing and step aside. I really don't care about the Jamaica Labour Party politics, but it is evident that Comrade Woodbine is going to give him a spanking in Western St. Mary. And the evidence is there on the ground. The sentiments of the people have been shifted. He has not done anything for the people of Western St. Mary. He's been the MP for so long. And, you know, there's farmers in St. Mary that are struggling. People don't have running water. The roads are deplorable. I mean, I spoke to comrades all the time. I even spoke to a comrade today from St. James, Montego Bay, where there are 3 constituencies that don't have any running water. The Jamaica Labour Party has failed the people, you know, where they want them to buy water from the truck that they contracted for themselves. Many of these politicians in Jamaica Labour Party own cesspool water trucks, trucking in water that is unclean for the people to drink in their different constituents. They don't care about the people, just like Montague. No. He doesn't care about the people. He's one of the richest MP in government right now. A lot of people don't know that. And his lawful income cannot justify his assets, just like the Prime Minister. And so when we see these people, they're just in politics to fill their craw and to scrape and to take away from the Jamaica Labour, the Jamaican people. When the people are crying for better roads, the people are crying for better hospitals, the students don't have the equipment in the school. When we see, you know, Frightened Friday over Portland got a one school bus, and it was like a kid getting a toy for Christmas. Now we find out the bus has 137,000 miles, 35,000 miles on it, or almost 136,000 miles. And it's a 16-year-old bus. I mean, these people play psychological mind games with the Jamaican people, but I think the time has really come. And the slogan "Time Come" is very perfect for such a time as this, because Robert Montague, they have turned their backs on the Jamaican people and the people of Western St. Mary. And if you talk, I know people that live in Boscobel, and other parts of St. Mary. And I know farmers in St. Mary that I talk to. And since burial, they haven't got any help from RADA. And yet, these politicians, they're just making money, money, money. That's all it's about for them. But, Robert Montague needs to step down. Not because we want him to step down. He's going to lose anyhow, but because he's unfit to hold the office of a member of parliament. Back over to you, Sir Byron.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful input, Pastor Ricky, right? And what you said is so true. Totally unfit, right, to represent our people, as he meddle in corruption, right, and all the wrongdoing that he had participated in. Now, my Jamaican people, I am going to take you, right, as it relates to showing you the proof, Jamaica. And I would like, all my Jamaican brothers and sisters to be listening to me tonight in terms of the proof that I want to show you. And I want to show you that when it comes to the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party and what the history is showing as it relates to the evidence that the People's National Party provides service to the Jamaican people all the time in terms of bringing the country forward. Now, tonight, I'm going to show you a perfect example, right? In terms of using Ibrahim Traoré as the goalpost. I want people to listen to me tonight. It is important for people to have a view of what Ibrahim Traoré was able to accomplish in 2 years. Put Burkina Faso in a 180 degrees angle. Simply mean that now they were heading to the abyss, but they turn around at 180 degrees, pulling up the bootlace of the economy. And trust me, Burkina Faso, with good leadership, and most important, why I'm going to use him, no corruption. No corruption. Now, people, I am going to show you, as it relates to Andrew Holness being in government for 9 years. 9 years, people. 9 years. People, Jamaican people, I want you to listen to me tonight. Andrew Holness been in government for 9 years and cannot show nothing significant as it relates to any social programs that he had accomplished. Let us reason tonight, people. Let us reason. And I am going to show you, as it relates to the 18 years that the Jamaica Labour Party is propagandized, lies, I am going to show you the evidence of the 18 years of several achievements. But I want people who try to oppose me to just come forward and show what Andrew Holness had done. The 100 days, first 100 days of promises, not one manifested in terms of Andrew Holness' accomplishment, my people. Not one. And when you look, you realize that the economy was built and reshaped by Portia Simpson and Peter Phillips. And what Andrew Holness had done today, is an entire disgrace in the Caribbean, an extension in the global space. I mean, literally, it's a disgrace. Now let us get into the proof of the pudding. I am going to show people how Ibrahim Traoré started. All of what Burkina Faso had accomplished today. I am so, when I was doing the research, my heart cried for Jamaica. Knowing what Bruce Golding had done with the economy, and how Portia Simpson has to reshape it, and what Andrew Holness had done with it now, my heart cried for Jamaica when I saw what Ibrahim Traoré had done with Burkina Faso for 2 years, people, 2022. What I am saying to you is living facts. Without any delay, let us get into it. Let us bring up wifey. Wikipedia, that's Ibrahim Traoré. Let us give the people the truth. We are going to use Ibrahim Traoré as the goalpost tonight to look at our Prime Minister. Our Prime Minister is a shame and disgrace, a national disgrace to Jamaica, and national disgrace to the Caribbean. National disgrace. When we finish with Andrew Holness, his name must not be mentioned in any political records. It must be wiped out. Now look at the history, people. Ibrahim Traoré, born 14 March 1988, is a very young man. He's a Burkina military officer and politician who has served as the interim president, right, of Burkina Faso since 2022. Not telling any lie, people. Took control of Burkina Faso in September 2022, ousting interim president Paul Henry Santiago Damiba in a coup. At age 37, he is currently the second youngest head of state in the world. During his tenure, Traoré has sought to distance the country from its former colonial power, France, and played an instrumental role in founding the Alliance of Sahel States. Now, take that away. We don't have to go into Ibrahim Traoré academics, right? He's well educated. Now, my Jamaican people, when I deliver this to you tonight, I want you to look on Andrew Holness. Now let us get to JP Jamaica and show we progress. Let us get into the next clip. Okay. Let us show the Jamaican people as it relates to Ibrahim Traoré success for Burkina Faso. And remember, we are seeing tonight, we are going to use Ibrahim Traoré as a goalpost to look on Andrew Holness, to look on Portia Simpson, to look on PJ Patterson. And my Jamaican people, I am not going to just give you the information. I want you to see it for yourself. So we are reasoning tonight. Now look here, people. Ibrahim Traoré vision for Burkina Faso. Remember that this man went in power 2022. So we are just talking about 2 years because 2025 just came in. We are just talking about 2 years. And my Jamaican people, I'm showing you this in terms of you to understand when it comes to a leader who is honest, not involved in corruption, and doing good for the will of the people, the things that leader can achieve. When you stay away from corruption, the things that you can achieve, when I want Jamaican people to look at this that I'm going to present and really look on Andrew Holness' administration, regardless of all the things that they are promising here today. We don't want to hear nothing from them. Now, Ibrahim Traoré vision for Burkina Faso, 10 bold achievements that are reshaping a nation. Look at this, 2022. Since Captain Ibrahim Traoré took power in September 2022, my people, my Jamaican people, Burkina Faso has been on a transformative journey. At just 36 years old, Traoré has drawn international attention for his unapologetical pan-African stance, bold decisions, and drive to make Burkina Faso self-reliant, which Jamaica can more than do. Though still early in his leadership, here are 10 major achievements that are already defining his presidency, all rooted in a vision of sovereignty, security, and African pride. Andrew Holness is canceling our sovereignty. Andrew Holness is selling out our sovereignty. Now, number one, reinforcing national security with a local face. Under Traoré leadership, Burkina Faso has significantly strengthened its armed forces to tackle terrorism, new special forces units, better weaponry, and the development of drones and helicopters have enhanced counterinsurgency efforts. More importantly, he has encouraged community-based defense, recruiting tens of thousands of local fighters to join the volunteers of the defense of the homeland, reflecting a belief that the fight for peace must be homegrown. Let's look at number two. Protecting goal at home, not abroad. Remember what Nigel Clark had done with our backside. Removing the levy. Removing the levy. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré is doing contrary to that. Ibrahim Traoré is running out the capitalists, taking over their goal, right? And dealing with it themselves. My Jamaican people, our backside, our rich alumina, that you have, of course, the IMF, the World Bank, and all other entities who are manipulating us with our backside. Why the government can't move in terms of the conversion from alumina to aluminum? And so then Nigel Clark had now severed the tariff. So we're not getting anything while they are getting it free. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré said no to that. Ibrahim Traoré kicked them out and stand for self-reliance. Look at this, my people. Burkina Faso is one of Africa's top gold producers. But for years, the raw material was exported without much value addition, just like our backside. Traoré has changed that by introducing a national gold refining program to process gold locally. While we cannot move our alumina to a stage to convert alumina into aluminum, and where we can sell it and make maximum, a sensible leader like this is moving forward in progress of the people, not selling us out, not selling our sovereignty. The move is aimed at retaining revenue, creating jobs, and reducing foreign exploitation of resources. Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark allow foreigners to exploit us. Number three, feeding the nation, investing in agriculture. We should be investing in agriculture, not putting the emphasis in tourism, and where tourism is not circulating the money in the country. But all the money that generated from tourism, 90% of that money gone back to foreign. How are we benefiting? How are we benefiting Jamaica? I want you to use this. I want you to use this and judge Andrew Holness tonight. From cotton to tomatoes, Traoré is betting on Burkina Faso land and farmers. His administration launched 2 tomato processing plants, first of their kind in the country, and set up a center to support local cotton production. The goal replaced food imports with Burkina made product. 4, building infrastructure for the future. The construction of the Ouagadougou Dunsen Airport is one of the most visible infrastructure projects on the Traoré. It's more than just a travel hub. It's a symbol of his ambition to connect Burkina Faso to the region and the world under its own terms. Show me something significant what Andrew Holness, being in power for 9 years, had done. Do we have any social program that Andrew Holness and his administration had done? Any social program, can we name it? Jamaican people, wise up. No bun and bread is going to make it for them. Because man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. Simple means, by your action, by your righteousness, you shall proceed. Andrew Holness, you fail. You are the bearer of evil. 5, leading by example, fiscal discipline. Andrew Holness, do you know this? Do you know physical discipline? When you're spreading propaganda about you are the father of physical discipline, let us show you what physical discipline is. At the top, in an unprecedented move, Traoré slashed ministers and MP salaries by 30%, while increasing civil servants' pay by 50%. He has also cleared millions in domestic debts. His message is clear. Leadership must make sacrifices for asking the people to tighten their belts. Now, Andrew Holness, you, knowing the vulnerability of Jamaica economy, the weaknesses of Jamaica economy, knowing that the economy is not strong, the economy has been struggled. The economy is on a struggling part because Bruce Colin had touched it. And Portia Simpson and Peter Phillips had took a 180 degrees by going to the United States, put their pride on the ground, spoke to Maxine Walters, begged Maxine Walters for a seat at the table. At the time, if Portia Simpson did not do this, many civil workers wouldn't get paid. And what you have done today, Andrew Holness, what you have done today in terms of covering up your wrongdoing, the 200 and 300% raise that you had taken was a camouflage. And let me explain it to the people. The people need to know why it was a camouflage. It is not so much that you just want to raise members of parliament pay 200 and 300% pay. It is a camouflage to know that the wrong that you have done and you're trying to cover it up. And that is one of the reasons why you go to the Integrity Commission policy and you make amendment in saying that the information that they investigated cannot be released until 75 years. So then when 70 years people are looking at it, it makes it seem as if, oh, Andrew Holness was getting the salary. So the Prime Minister. So this is the way how you plan. This is the chess game that you're playing. This is the chess game that you're playing. And in order to conceal your wrongdoing, you put the economy in such a bind by raising members of parliament 200 to 300% raise Andrew Holness. An extreme, unnecessary pressure to cover your wrongdoings. Jamaican people, wake up. Ibrahim Traoré know that from the onset of his presence into the power, he knew what was wrong, what he had done. Traoré slashed ministers and MP salaries by 30%. And what he did, increased civil servants by 50%. But what you do, Andrew Holness, you raise 200 and 300% raise. And you suffer the teachers, you suffer the nurse, you suffer the doctor, you suffer the police. This is what you have done, Andrew Holness. This is what you have done. The demons you are. The political witch and bitch that you are. And you have the audacity in taking a third term, wanting a third term. And not only that, with your bare fierceness in parliament, saying that we could attack until, because you believe that the Jamaican people are idiots. But the Jamaican people are going to surprise you. So regardless of all the money that you spend paying for their votes, they will take your money, but you will not see those votes manifested. Let me say that. 6, saying no to the IMF and World Bank. This is where we're going. So I want to show the Jamaican people as it relates to the IMF and the World Bank that when you utilize loan from them, they imply austerity measures, and those austerity measures targeted to damage your social programs. Andrew Holness-led administration, out of every other administration, had taken more loans than any other administration. Andrew Holness, sinking us in debt. Sinking us in debt. Say no to the IMF, Ibrahim Traoré, and World Bank. Proud leader. Traoré has rejected financial dependency on the West, famously declaring that Africa doesn't need the IMF, World Bank, or Europe to develop. While controversial, this stands as reignited conversations about neo-colonialism and the importance of economic sovereignty in Africa. You, Andrew Holness, been selling out our sovereignty to neo-colonialists, those who are protecting the wealth of their ancestors by slavery. You are protecting them. You lied to the Jamaican people recently in saying that you are going to remove GCT from the bill from 15% to 7%. And then behind closed doors, Andrew Holness, Mystic Sensation found you red-handed. Behind closed doors, you, Andrew Holness, and Darrell Vaz, Minister of Energy and Mining, went into closed doors and moved the protection 150 kilowatt per hour per month protection from the poor people. So you give them with the right and you take it with the left, and you think that this trickery is unique. And you laugh about this trickery, what you have been doing to the people. The wickedness and the viciousness that you continue to do, the part of evil that you continue. When you tell them you are going to do big energy company in Jamaica, where are those energy companies, Mr. Andrew Holness? You're vicious and evil. You're as evil as they make them. Taking back the mines. Yes, we need to take back our backside. This is a leader, Ibrahim Traoré. In April 2025, Traoré government announced it was taking control of major industrial gold mines previously operated by foreign firms, including Endeavour Mining. The move, part of broader nationalization agenda, is meant to ensure that more of the country's mineral wealth benefits Burkina citizens. What you and Nigel Clark have done with our alumina is to ensure that neo-colonialists benefit. You are giving them it for free. Do you want me to remind you, Andrew Honest, that that is what you're doing? Giving our backside for free, leaving future damages behind? Huh? You cannot get to any other level, deeper level than even than where you are. You are just naturally evil. Decolonizing the courts, robes of Faso. In a cultural symbolic move, Burkina Faso judge now wear robes made from locally woven cotton, replacing the colonial era black satin gowns. This change represents a broader effort to promote African identity and pride in state institutions. This man extremely loves his people. Rewrite the rules with a new constitution in a bid to dismantle outdated colonial structures. Let me ask you something, Andrew Honest. The Beach Act, you make no effort in making no amendment to change that so that Jamaican people can have access to their beaches. I'm coming at you, Andrew Honest. You stood there and you watch neo-colonialists took over our beaches and exempt our people, exempt access of our people. This is what you are doing, Andrew Honest. Many Jamaicans cannot access their own beach. You tell me the level of wickedness that you are doing. Founding the Sahel Alliance together with Mali and Niger, Traoré from the Alliance of Sahel States, a regional defense pact designed to boost military cooperation and reduce dependence on Western powers. The alliance marks a major shift towards African-led security solutions. Take it away, my sister, my wife, beautiful wife, take it away. You are here in the fight with me every Tuesday and Friday. I thank you, wifey, to be a part of that. My brother, before I proceed any further, because we are going to put down the judgment tonight and show Jamaica people why you need to reject Andrew Honest. So I'm going to ask you, Pastor Ricky, to make your comment in terms of the presentation.
Well, it shows that this young man at age 36 came rise to power with a vision. Prime Minister in Jamaica rise to power in 2015 to 2016 on lies and deception and false promises. And what this young man introduced, as you read out the 10 different commitments he made in terms of the vision he had to embolden, to change his nation, he kept them. And that's a big difference. You know, a promise made is a promise kept. And he didn't divert or deviate in anything so far that he has said he would have done. One of the things we have to highlight is that he separated himself from the globalists. This prime minister in Jamaica embraced the globalists, depopulation, the WEF, the United Nations, the WHO, all of their policies, he bought into it and they paid him off for it in Jamaica. So that's why he's destabilizing Jamaica in terms of destroying agriculture, not allowing the farmers to bring their products to the marketplace, but instead creating the avenue for the farmers to have competition with foreign imports And when we look at our trade deficit, that it's our trade deficit is $5 billion plus more than what we export out of the country to of Jamaica. So this prime minister is not interested in building the future for Jamaica. The things he's interested in is to oppress and suppress the people with SOEs, state of emergency, using the JCF and the JDF because he's the Minister of Defense to curfew, lock down the people, lock them up and don't charge them. And now we see them getting unalive without any weapons in their hands or, arm with any arm in their hands. What we see him do is using state of emergencies and zone of special operations, ZOZO, to intimidate the people, to make them live in fear. And what we saw this prime minister has done is to remodel many police stations. He's building 3 new prisons in the western parts of Jamaica. His attitude towards the people is a dictatorship. And when we look at the difference in contrast with what's going on in Burkina Faso, that Abraham Traoré, I keep messing his last name up, he wants to empower people. This prime minister suppresses the Jamaican people. This leader in Burkina Faso, he is invested in agriculture. He kick out the colonialists, them, take control of the minerals and the mines and the golds, and they're now producing their own. In contrast, this prime minister sold everything to the Americans, the Chinese, and the Russians. And let me just say this, because I've been saying this from 2021, and those who follow me on Facebook and so can testify. I've been saying since 2021 that the richest country in the Caribbean is Haiti, but the people don't know it. And the second richest country in the Caribbean is Jamaica, but the people don't know it. The governments of both nations know that Haiti is one of the richest countries, as they have uranium, gold, all these things in the soil. The wealth of Jamaica is in the soil. Even the sand on the seashore in Jamaica is a mineral that the military used to make planes and technology, cell phones and computer. The soil that the people are walking on in Jamaica, the wealth of Jamaica is in the soil, but the people don't know it. The government know it, but the people don't know it. Jamaica have oil, Jamaica have gold, Jamaica have bauxite, aluminum, uranium, copper, metal, everything is that God has blessed Jamaica. Jamaica is one of the richest behind Haiti country in the Caribbean. So when we see this Abraham Traoré stimulating, cultivating, developing his nation to become a first world country, now he's one of the most admired leader in Africa. He's starting to be loved from people outside of his country and within his country. In contrast, we have a prime minister that is hated in his country and is hated outside of his country for the level of criminality and corruption that he daily operates in. And so it is stark and clear that we can't afford to have this prime minister in office any longer. And the faster he called the election so we can change government, it will put Jamaica on a path of recovery, put Jamaica on a path to, mine the minerals in the country and spread the wealth amongst the people. And so keeping Jamaica as a hostage right now to hold on to power is doing a disservice and a destruction to our beautiful country. And the truth of the matter is that this in Burkina Faso, Abraham Traoré rose at age 36, military coup, and took over. We don't have that in Jamaica, thank God. But nevertheless, we have a comrade leader, Mark Golden, who's rising to power right now. who's going to lead Jamaica, stimulate agriculture. He has a housing plan, education plan, to ensure that one household have one person graduate with a degree. Now we hear the Jamaica Labour Party stealing the People's National Party feed the school children. This government been in office for 9 years, and he was a minister of education in 2007. But yet, all of a sudden, because during the budget debate, we rolled out feeding the children in the morning in school. Suddenly, the bright light went off in their heads that we also need to start feeding the children. But let me just say this finally. Do not believe nothing this Jamaica Labour Party is saying right now. They are desperate. They're doing everything to try to fire up their base and stimulate their base passion. If they're starting to say we're going to feed the children, parents, please wake up in the morning and feed your children before you send them out. We cannot believe and trust a single word from this government. So you don't want to take them at their word and send your children to school thinking that they will provide breakfast or lunch. And it comes to find out they didn't do it and your child is hungry all day at school. Because everything this government say they will do, they have not done it. Going back to their 2016 manifesto, 2020 manifesto, and promises they made leading up to the local government elections, and promises they're making now. So parents, feed your own children. Back over to you, Sir Byron.
Thank you so much, Pastor Ricky, for that wonderful input and that powerful punch there. Now, my Jamaican people, let us show you, as it relates to how Andrew Holness believe that he's so skilled of a salesman that he believed that he can just come out and he can just sell any lie to Jamaica and Jamaica will just absorb it. Because he believed that what he had gotten away with 2016 and 2020, he can do it again. This time, Andrew Holness, we are telling you, right, that you are dead wrong. Now, we want Jamaica to listen to you, knowing what I had shown before as it relates to Ibrahim Traoré, right? Made significant success, exceptional leadership as it relates to 2 years. Not 9, 2 years. Now, here, the so-called skillful salesman at his pitch telling the Jamaican people is usual lies and deception. Listen to him. Listen to him, Jamaica. And this is why they believe that the dinosaur politics, right, is going to make it for them. It is not. Listen to him, Jamaican people.
About it. My thinking labor rights and my thinking Jamaican. Who is really making the changes in Jamaica? So yes, my labor rights and yes, my Jamaicans, this election is about who will continue to change Jamaica for the better. Who will continue to build out the highways? Who will continue to build out the hospitals? Who will continue to build out the schools? Who will continue to build out the logistics hub? Who will continue to buy the new buses? Who will continue to buy the new garbage trucks? Who will continue to give the largest salary increases to public sector workers? Who will continue to build the houses? Who will continue to change Jamaica for the better?
Oh my God.
No, Jamaican people, we have to laugh. It's a joke. But no, it goes to show you that Andrew Holness is what we call a three-card politician. Now, here are the facts. We know very well that, of course, it is a PJ Patterson who started IBA 2000. Andrew Holness' administration has nothing to do with any IBA. When PJ Patterson started the IBA, Edward Seaga criticized him and said, IBA can't eat. Do you remember that? Jamaican people, yes.
Yeah.
You know that Andrew Honest is trying to use his street card in the best of his ability. But this time, what is wrong? He meet us in social media, a Pastor Ricky, a Lonesome, a Andre Stevenson, a Hot Off for the Press. You name it.
Anessa Belrose.
Anessa Belrose, a Bowler, Antigen.
Yeah.
Right? Bowler, you know the chat, big up yourself, my boss.
Yeah, man.
He's now dealing with us who are going to fact check him. So let us ask Andrew Honest in terms of what he articulated there. Which school Andrew Honest did? Andrew Honest, which school did you build that you are going to continue to build schools? These are the things that we talk about as it relates to him and his lies and his cannery, his thievery. But I tell you, Andrew Honest, time is going to catch up on you, right? Which new bus? You want to use the bus that Daryl Vaz used? Well, we know that it's the old bus.
But guess what? When they came in up, when they came,
the buses that you refurbish, you did not buy any new bus.
you know what? When they came in, we left them with 460 buses, and they have less. They have about 200 now, and 100 was they just brought in, so it was just 100 bus. So they failed. They managed the JUTC.
All right. So then, that is what we want to talk about. The truth, Andrew Honest, the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. The truth is important. You have to get back to your moral compass because you have lost it. Now let us get to the next clip and hear the rumors in terms of what they are, you know. I mean, look. Yes. Now, we are in this space, my Jamaican people, to show you, to highlight to you, you understand, an Andrew Honest-led administration for 9 years, right? And the achievement of PJ Patterson and Portia Simpson. And when we use Ibrahim Traoré as a goalpost, we know that Andrew Honest is far away from that. He is the opposite of success. Now let us play that. Look at this video.
Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half truth and trick you into voting for them, and then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
100 days. The fixed election dates. Now wait for the promise before the fail. One broken promise after another. Laughable, as I said. None of your promise not fulfilled yet, boss. So there you are.
Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament.
All ministers in the new Jamaica Labour Party government will be given a job letter. That job letter has a timeline of 2 years and 6 months with key performance targets, which are agreed upon by the cabinet, focused on 2 things: economic growth and job creation.
Andrew, you need to do what you said from 2016. You say you're going to put it on paper. So anything you put on paper, the MP have to work with it. So you need to do it now. I feel like, say, when you do that, the MP will do them work and we will see work done in the community.
Within the first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to introduce term limits on the office of Prime Minister.
Andrew Honest, January, him break him promise. Enough thing him say I'm gonna do, you know, for the next 100 days, and now him not do nothing. Him not keep no promise, and him say I'm the promise keeper. What a promise, January style.
at a convenient time within our new government, we will hold a grand referendum on the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, as the final appellate court.
You make so much promise for us. Look how long you're in there. Nothing done. All for the COVID. They promised the people them $25,000. Nothing done. Huh? So what you expect me to do? Tell me if you sleep with the door and window open and nothing done.
All right. Pastor Ricky. Tonight.
You know what, Sir Byron? This
honest is the disease.
Yeah.
Pastor Ricky, you and I, we are the cure.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead and speak what you want to speak.
You know what? This is why the Prime Minister is a colossal failure and his government. This is why his paid bloggers, the corrupt guy who took 2 years to finish a culinary certificate, you know, you have all of these idiot guys who hungry and desperate for some to talk about. This is why they can't defend the Prime Minister. This is why when they run out and speak and they seems out of touch and delusional, because they're defending promises to say we have made progress, but nobody sees the progress. Exactly. They're running out and says the country's in a good shape, but the country's in a recession. They're running out and says the dollar is stable, but as we speak today, the dollar is at 160. I mean, they're running around and saying that the hospitals are building, and when they're refurbishing cost overrun hospitals, patients are dying, waiting in chairs, dying on the floor on a cardboard. One man sent pay 500 Jamaica dollar for a piece of cardboard for lay down for weeks. I wait for a doctor. I mean, we have seen where patients have to go get medication for their mother because the hospital don't have it. We've seen where patients died because of no ventilation machine, no ambulance. Tourists dropped down in at the airport in Montego Bay, and there was no ambulance to transport the patient to save life. You know, first responders. So when them talk, them out of touch. This is why the sentiments of the Jamaican people have shifted and leave them. They're gotten left behind before the local government election. People are sick and tired of these promises that was never fulfilled. That's why after 9 wasted years in government, him can't come out and say one accomplishment. Them not building a school. Them ride the back of NHT and take money from NHT, $11.4 billion a year, claims that them have fat up them budget. Them rob NIS. Them rob NHF. Them rob the banana board funds and put it in a SSL, and nobody not see about them money. They're just a colossal failure. I mean, right now they can't even release the first quarter economic numbers that was supposed to come out the end of April. And so we can imagine that they're hiding the numbers. They're deflating the numbers as it relates to unemployment. When the system they were using was switched out a year ago. And so they are now saying that unemployment is at 3.4, lower than America. Can you believe it?
It's crazy, right?
Man, this government is a joke, man. Throw them away, run them outside, man. This government is a joke. I mean, they're delusional. They're living in a bubble, out of touch of reality. People are suffer. Cost of living is so high. Electricity. You know, you slam him last week, Sir Byron, with the electricity. You know, they brought it down from the ministry paper 1717. Ali Shaw proposed bringing it down from 350 kilowatts to 150 kilowatts. Now, in his conference last year, him say I'm gonna reduce electricity and give you a discount to pay only 7%. That means I'm take with the 150 cap. That means everybody now appear taxes on electricity. This is how wicked and cruel and evil this government is. What have they done for Jamaica in 9 wasted years? I mean, I don't want to get upset, man. I'm trying to.
All right, wonderful input again, Pastor Ricky. But what we are going to show Jamaica is where you have, right, one of the stalwart, the business stalwart, right, is complaining about basically the Andrew Holness administration, because he has been saying that in his history as it relates to his business, it is the worst that he has ever seen. And so then, by him saying that, he's saying that as it relates to the Andrew Holness administration, it's a careless failure. So I want to play, right, the clip so that people can see that. And as it relates to Andrew Holness still saying that, you know, this and that, lies, venom of lies, poison, right, that he's showing on the people. But hear from himself, from one of the business stalwart who is telling you the true essence of the status of the economy. It is really alarming. They are losing money as a result of this administration. Without any delay on it. Okay. All right. So people, let us kick back and listen to the truth. Listen to the truth. Right? Of someone who is highly professional. You understand? One of the stalwart business person. Listen to him.
What I will comment on is that right now, as it stands in the Jamaican economy, the economy is struggling. It's probably the worst I've seen in the 30-odd years I've been in business. The buying power is the weakest, and government needs to find ways to, how do I say it now, catalyze the economy to be able to grow. We tried our best a few years ago, and Jamaica started to see growth. But right now, they've done so many things to stagnate the industry. Interest rates need to come down quickly. The Bank of Jamaica needs to come out of their tunnel vision and start thinking out of the box to manage the economy, because right now it's in a very stagnant stage and actually in a dying stage. And it is actually quite frightening what is happening out there. When you speak to business people, people are saying they're seeing anyway in a 50% down in terms of sales, their retail trade, and every expense is going up. Their rental rates that they're paying to rent these shops and stores is going up. Their light bill consistently is up. You know, it's a tough world out there, yes, but we can do things to make it a little easier for our people in this country. So the minister and the government has a lot to do, and the Bank of Jamaica and our commercial banks, to try and stimulate this economy, because if they don't start doing something now, the economy is going to start fumbling and they're going to be in big trouble.
I want you to expand on that a little bit more from me, Mr. Azan, because it's good to hear your views on that, because the data is suggesting, and we hear the government talk a lot about economic growth and inclusiveness. It talks about business confidence is at an all-time high. We know of unemployment rate, the best that it has been. Is it that the manufacturers are not seeing all of that? What exactly is happening? Why is there a dissonance between the two?
There are one or two businesses that may be seeing some growth, but I tell you, the general economy is struggling out there. The real estate side of things, the building, the construction side of things is slowing. Interest rates has played a major part in doing that. And the business side, the manufacturing side is struggling. And we need to find ways to stimulate back this economy, because what we've done over the years and tried to build it back, coming from where we're coming from, I think what we've done in terms of managing this inflationary issue, I think we've gone about it possibly in a little different way that we could do something, but it is creating a havoc in the economy right now. Buying power is the weakest that I have seen in all my years of doing business. I'm not just speaking from my own business, but generally because I sit on other boards, it is very weak. And it is actually a little frightening for me when I am looking out there and seeing what's happening in the economy out there. So we need to find ways of trying to find ways. The Bank of Jamaica needs to come out. Commercial banks need to start doing.
Well, Jamaica, now, when we listen to sentiments, right, like that coming from, right, a stalwart business person. And remember that Omar Azan is not a political activist, okay? He's speaking from a business perspective, right? This man is an entrepreneur. And he's telling you that he has never seen anything like this within the past 30 years. Azan is saying to Jamaica, people, I have never witnessed anything like this in the past 30 years. So then, in extension, is now putting a reflection on the Jamaica Labour Party administration. Is saying that the Jamaica Labour Party administration is at the worst in managing the economic affairs of our country.
Yep.
That is what Omar Azan is saying. That is what Omar Azan is saying. And he's saying that we need to have a change. Now, the thing is, as it relates to Andrew Holness, who believe before he venture into the politics that, okay, he's going there to enrich himself. And so then he's going to delve into the art of corruption and try to PR his way around it. It is not going to work because we are going to hold him accountable. And so then in the interim of holding him accountable, Andrew Holness is now telling lies, wanting a third term for him to conceal his wrongdoing. It is not going to happen. Now, let us get into the other clip here. Let us get into the other clip, right, and show you as it relates to Andrew Holness. Continue his lies, his deception, you know, his poison that he's showing out, right? So, okay, let us, hold on. My Jamaican people, let us get back to the People's National Party again, right? Showing you, right, the vibrancy of the People's National Party. Let us get there.
You know, they've been trying to tell me that when I'm on the microphone, I'm going to batch some if I calm down myself. But every single time I try to calm down myself, there is this evil spirit that rises up that we have to put a fire to get
Yeah,
rid.
man.
I am at my yard. And when I'm down the yard, I watch something on my phone. And reverse the curse. Reverse the yard. And when I'm watching something on my phone, I saw no less a person than the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And the Prime Minister said it is not his intention to deceive the people of Jamaica. And when he said it, I said to myself, even that very statement is intended to deceive the people of Jamaica.
Amen.
What is it that he is upset about? He's upset about the proposals that we have put forward to benefit the people of this country. And when he said it, I stopped for a second and I said, you ever see Pataka Kettle Blanket? The man that has made the most unfulfilled promises in Jamaica is now coming to us to tell us that you must be wary of politicians who are making promises. And so tonight I want to ask the Prime Minister, do you recall the promise that if you win the election, we will be able to sleep with our windows and doors open? Do you remember the promise that the economy of Jamaica would grow by 5% in 4 years? Do you, Mr. Prime Minister, remember the promise that you would build 70,000 houses in 5 years? Do you remember the promise that you would bring big power plants come to Jamaica? Do you remember the promise that you would turn Clarkstown into the third city in Jamaica? Do you remember the promise that you are going to build a 2-story market in Highgate in St. Mary? Do you remember the promise, Mr. Prime Minister, that you are going to turn Portmore into Little Miami or Silicon Valley? Do you, Mr. Prime Minister, do you remember the promise that you are going to have fixed election dates? Do you, Mr. Prime Minister, remember the promise that within the first 100 days, you are going to introduce term limits for the office of Prime Minister, 2 terms maximum, and now here you are with your Sam ballot and to by yourself, but you campaigning for a 3rd term. Yes, comrades! Youth and youth! Undecided voters! Hold on. Hold on. Me not done yet. Do you, Mr. Prime Minister, remember the promise that you would have impeachment legislation?
Now take it away. Now, Jamaica, in my starting, it was important for me to reference Ibrahim Traoré. That Ibrahim Traoré did not promise, did not make one promise. All what Ibrahim Traoré had done, right, is take over the government and work diligently for the people in delivering service.
Right.
Did not make one promise. Ibrahim Traoré, go through the history, people, did not make one promise.
Yeah, he didn't run for president.
But his vision in his action has been articulated through his action. His vision has been articulated through his action. Let us look if Andrew Owner's vision, right, has been articulated through his action in terms of the next clip. Let us look. Let us look, people. Right? As I said, we are using Ibrahim Traoré as a goalpost. Let us look if Andrew Owner's action, promise, is manifesting as it relates to his action. Let us look, people. Let us look, and you judge it for yourself. I am not going to make any comment on it. You judge it for yourself.
One of the things that I know affecting whole heap of people in Jamaica is the high electricity bill. When the PMP come into power, them say them going to bring down electricity costs. What has happened since? Electricity costs keep rising. They promise that by 2016 they would have made the JPS more efficient with more efficient plants. That's not going to happen till another 2 years. And before you know it, it will be another 3 or 4 years before them actually do it. The Labour Party will make sure that we put in place more efficient electricity generating plants to bring down the cost of electricity to you. I don't like to make promise. I made commitment. And under the Labour Party government, we are going to ensure that we bring to this country
the big power plants. We are going to ensure that we bring to this country the big energy companies that can put the money in here to build the plants to give you cheaper and better electricity.
Take that away. My Jamaican people, when you see these things and you assess these things, you know that this man, right, is the devil right hand. Now, let us look and see as it relates to what he had promised then and see how that had been manifested during his governance. Let us look. Let us look on this. So in 2015, he criticized the People's National Party and said when he comes into power, he is going to, right, make sure you have the big energy company to drive down cars. Let us look.
Now to the story of how a family is seeking answers from the Jamaica Public Service JPS on how their light bill went from less than $3,000 in October last year to them owing more than $500,000 now. This amid several complaints by JPS customers of exorbitant electricity bills. Giovanni Dennis explains.
Truckstar Asafa Powell complaining of a $20,000 increase on his JPS bill. It was similar to this post by Attorney General Marlene Malahoo Fort complaining of a huge increase in her electricity bill. She did not provide specifics. The JPS's official Twitter account responded to say they are investigating. But while that response was swift, a Kingston family has been seeking answers for nearly 6 months. They are afraid to speak publicly, but shared bills from October 2019 to present. This is a copy of their bill in October, $2,607. November, $2,450. December, $80,629. When they queried, they were told to pay the usual charges and the JPS will investigate. January 2020, $54,400. February, $105,679. March, $63,023. April, $77,440. And the final bill, May to June, $54,093. The total since the December bill, just under $530,000. A family member, Mahala Ricketts, has made several attempts to get answers from the JPS via Twitter and the online chat. Still, little help. The family has gone in branch and the electricity disconnected at one point. It has been reconnected, but the spike remains. Answers are not forthcoming. Winsome Callum is Director of Corporate Communications at JPS.
What you described sounds like a very strange situation, and I definitely have to look into it. I'm sorry that this customer, this family, has not had a resolution to the issue, and we're having some challenges there, which we're working to fix as quickly as possible. But this requires investigation and for it to be addressed on its own merit. So there is no general reason that I can give you, Giovanni, for what would have happened in these cases.
She says there is no one reason why there are spikes in some bills, but noted that the devaluation of the Jamaican dollar and fuel prices cause fluctuation. She revealed that there's been an over 25% increase in the number of complaints of high electricity bills since April. But what about concerns of delays in responding to customer complaints? She conceded there are setbacks.
We are having some delays in just addressing the customer's concerns one by one. So you may have an extended delay getting to the customer they might write in. And instead of the usual 7 days of for a response, they may have an extended period. And this is due to the volume of concerns that we're facing right now. And we've ramped up our response team, but there's still some delays.
An online petition on change.org titled Jamaicans Against Exorbitant JPS Bills has more than 42,000 signatures. In the meantime, the Office of Utilities Regulation, OUR, is now investigating the recent complaints. We spoke with public education specialist Elizabeth Bennett Marsh.
So the OER is very much aware of the complaints regarding unusually high electricity bills, and we have been in touch with the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, asking them to provide us with some information, including how many complaints they have received, what's the average level of increase that they're seeing on customers' bills, and some additional information that will help us in doing our own checks as the regulator of this utility service.
She says customers who feel dissatisfied with JPS's response to their complaints should report it to the OUR.
Now we are going to show Jamaica that it is not only customers who are complaining, since Andrew Warner said when he gets into power, right, he's going to ensure that he bring in the big energy company so that to provide competition and draw down, right, energy costs. However, that was not being achieved, right? And Andrew Warner's continued to lie, but I'm going to show you that Andrew Warner's had done even more cruelty where that is concerned. Now let us look on this, right? Where the PSOJ person had been complaining as it relates to recognizing that, you know, Andrew Warner's administration, under Andrew Warner's administration, it did not get, the energy situation did not get better. It get worse. Now let us listen to Andrew Warner here. Sorry, not the PSOJ. Let us listen to Andrew Warner here.
Is a key component of the cost of living, and this government has introduced significant changes to cushion the impact of high energy costs. As I had announced in November 2024, and the Minister of Finance and the Public Service stated last week, the GCT on residential electricity will be reduced from 15% to 7% effective May 1, 2025. Also, the 150 kilowatt per month GCT free threshold will be removed and replaced with an incentive-based rebate of 10% for customers consuming up to 250 kilowatt hours per month. The rebate has been designed to incentivize energy conservation, as only households consuming up to 255 kilowatt hours are entitled to the rebate. The government is also determined to address the issue of energy poverty in the country. We are allocating $1 billion to cover wiring and inspection costs for the first 200 first-time JPS customers under the program to regularize and get them on the grid. We are also exploring ways to reduce the cost of formalization, including innovative technical solutions such as ready boards complete with circuit breakers, socket outlets, and a light that could effectively form a low-cost starter pack for household wiring. So the technology actually exists to give you a compact and ready-to-use connection to electricity. So we are exploring that. We have looked at some options, and we're going to be making that available. When you talk to people who are illegally abstracting electricity, let me put it that way, they know it's wrong, but in their minds, you know, how can we expect them to live without electricity? In effect, there is a kind of expectation, you know, that the use of electricity is a human right, and somehow the state should provide for it. Now, our budget would not be able to take that on, but the current situation is untenable, where there is a large portion of our population that is consuming electricity illegally. Somebody's paying for it, and it is the consumers who actually pay their electricity bills. So we have to find a way, we have to find a good equilibrium in this situation, where we make it easier for people to get onto the grid legally and safely. And then we have to find ways to get people to be able to pay for the electricity as they earn and as they use. So in effect, the challenge is not just the high electricity rates, it is the high onboarding rate, the cost of wiring, the cost of inspection. And then it is the inflexible payment system, especially if you are on the postpaid system. We have to bring these kinds of innovation to market. And governments have tried. The member from St. Andrews Southeast had mentioned that when he was in the Ministry of Energy, that they had started a project. But this project builds on that in some ways, but this is far more comprehensive. But more than that, this project has staying power because we're making an allocation for this budget, but you can bet that the next budget, we will also have a bigger allocation to the more.
So for the let's just explain this to the people in terms of what Andrew Holness said here, right? And so then what Andrew Holness, this is what you call political trickery.
Yeah.
Holness give you with the right and take it away with the left. This is how Andrew Holness had done it. So when Andrew Holness spoke about reducing the GCT as it relates from 15% to 7%, right, as it relates to persons who are using 450 kilowatt hours, right, per month. Now, if you notice what Andrew Holness also stated, that he's going to remove the 150 kilowatt per month, right, that people under the 150 kilowatt were not paying the GCT. He's going to remove that protection. In removing that protection, this is what happened. He's not telling Jamaican people. If you remove that protection, what you have done, you have widened the tax net. Widen the tax, right? And simple means in widening the tax net, you also just maximize JPS profit line. I want people to follow me. So then, if you have a threshold protection of 150 kilowatt per month, all those persons who used to utilize that, right, as an insurance or a safety net for them to ensure that they are not exceeding 150 kilowatt, they wouldn't pay GCT. Andrew owns. Remove that. Take away that protection. And when you take away that protection, what is going to happen? JPS profit is going to maximize because the tax net is widened.
Yeah.
That is what Andrew wants to say. Right in front of all of our face. So this is how Andrew Holness is working for neo-colonialists. And this is one of the reasons why this is affecting us. Because this is one of the reasons why we cannot manufacture effectively because of high energy bill. So it is not feasible, you understand, as it relates to kicking off our manufacturing industry because the energy cost is too high.
Yeah.
And so then it will not be profitable. So what Andrew Holness had done, speaking in Parliament, and that should be rejected. He had removed the 150 protection mechanism as it relates to 150 kilowatt usage per month. Just increase the profit for JPS and pressure everyone in Jamaica. That means from once you turn on a little bulb light, a little bulb, you're going to pay GCT. That's what Andrew Holness done. And we need, the Jamaican citizens need to push back on that. Push back heavily on that. And this political trickster working with neo-colonialists to suppress the Jamaican people. Because every single person, whether they want to use one bulb or whatever, right? So there's no protection cap any at all. Remember what the People's National Party had provided. The People's National Party had provided a 350 kilowatt per month protection cap for the people. Simple means if you have not exceeded that cap, you will not pay GCT. When Andrew Holness went into power, what Andrew Holness did, he removed it, he reduced the cap from 350 to 150. Right? Widen the tax net to increase or maximize JP's profit. That's what he did. That's what he did. And now, going into the general election, try to put it up to say, 15% GCT reduced to 7%, but at the same time remove the 150 protection cap. Right? So everybody will be paying GCT from once you use the electricity. Everyone will be paying the GCT, which now maximize JPS profit. So JPS is getting richer and richer, and the Jamaican people
more tax dollars to
suppressing
well,
and more tax dollars going to the government as it relates to the government 19% shares in JPS. This is what Andrew Holness did. The viciousness and the wickedness. Right? Yes, Pastor Ricky, come into the space.
Yeah, the people of Jamaica must realize that the Jamaica Labour Party and the Prime Minister, they are capitalists. And they see people as commodity to generate profits and make money off of the backs of people. So when you hear Omar Azan, the businessman clip you played a few minutes ago, when he mentioned that the economy is dying, he sits on many boards, and when he look outside on the different business sectors and businesses within the business sectors, everybody is feeling it. When he mentioned that the purchasing power is vanishing, it's been cut by 50% in half. When he mentioned that the high overhead costs such as rental costs and utility costs, this is what's killing businesses in Jamaica. This is why Jamaica is not attracting foreign companies to come into Jamaica and set up shop, because of the high cost of electricity. Now, what the Prime Minister says in 2015, when he was hungry for power, that he will bring in the big power companies, he didn't tell you when. Okay, we have to pay attention to when he speak. When he said that in the parliament that, they have the technology to reduce electricity costs, he didn't tell you when that's going to happen. So they have smart meters, and yes, they use smart meters to say they're going to give you a savings and a discount, but everybody in Jamaica is currently experiencing high volume in terms of electricity costs. As Sir Byron says, we all know that the government owns 19% shares in JPS. So he's not going to do anything. Believe me, my fellow Jamaicans, the Prime Minister is not going to do anything to cut into the government's 19% revenue share as it relates to their shares in JPS. Further, as a capitalist, he's not going to do anything to cause JPS to lose money. That's why, they raised in the ministry paper 1717 on the Audley Shaw, the former Minister of Finances. They accumulate or calculate how much billions of dollars they were going to raise in taxes, GCT taxes, when they cut the kilowatt from 350 to 150. And so it's all about profits. It's all about revenues. It's all about growing business and having more money in their pockets. So what he's doing, he knows the people don't, no disrespect to my fellow Jamaicans, but not everybody in Jamaica is going to read their light bill. Once they see the total that's due, everybody get upset because short down and short with. They're not going to go through like Sir Byron, the fine prints, and read all the fine details and identify, what is the purpose of why cost is so high. So what they do in Jamaica is that they preempt that the people are not going to be knowledgeable to read and to comprehend and to understand. So they throw out some kind of fancy phrase to make it sound like they, like you said, giving them a deal with the right hand, but taking it back with the left hand. For example, you know, they say they're cutting costs in one area, but of your expenses, but then they send the police out to write you a ticket because they have to generate $1 billion. So they give you a cut in one area and then they take it back in another area. And so with all of these indirect taxes, I mean, when you look at the ministry paper, they've raised taxes on alcohol products, tobacco products, health group insurance, group health insurance. They've raised taxes on electricity. They've raised taxes on cars and fees and so forth. So, you know, when you think they're doing you a favor, they're not. They're taking it back to the back door some way. So you just have to read and figure out what is it that how they're taking back money from you in the indirect taxes. That's what's killing the people. So the utility cost is so overwhelmed. One last point: doing Beryl last year, and right after Beryl, so many people light bill were double and triple of what the normal fees, monthly fees were. And JPS said they're giving estimated bills. They're giving estimated bills. And so if your light bill used to be $15,000 a month, after Beryl, you were paying $45,000, 30 to 45, 2 to 3 times more on an estimated bill of kilowatts that they think you will get. The whole system is a fraud, man, and it needs to be revamped. And this is why Comrade Philip Powell and the People's National Party, when they come in with the new energy plan, which is one of the 5 E's in the was presented in the parliament during the budget debate. Energy is one of them. So we're looking forward to see a different way of calculating and bringing down the cost of energy. And of course, you know, hopefully they will break up the monopoly of JPS and allow another or 2 or 3 other companies to come into Jamaica to provide electricity, because that's another way to reduce electricity costs.
Yeah, very solid input, Pastor Ricky, because obviously JPS needs some competition.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just said, I just spoke about the monopoly that needs to be breaking up. Right. And we have to move in terms of, you know, maximum benefit to our people, so that we give our people option. Right. When you have an institution like JPS, right, it's just the sole provider, then of course the monopoly is very strong.
Right. And
so then JPS monopolizing the market, right? When they set the price, you have to accept it. While if we have competition, right? If JPS set the rate at X, you understand, we can go at the other entity, right?
Competitor
that can provide that source of energy for less. So that is what we want. We want competition to drive down the price. You understand? If we can bring in 5 or 6 more energy company, better yet for the Jamaican people to have choices.
Yeah,
right.
But the government will lose their 19% share. I mean, not lose the share, but they won't have any. They won't make enough money from the 19% once they have all these other competitors. So that's another reason why they don't want to allow competitors.
But you see, but again, if they allow competition, right? Remember that the government, right? There are certain taxations that the government is going to benefit from. Right. So if the government abandon that as it relates to JPS 19% shares, and as a result of bringing in more competitors, you understand, they have more entities to collect taxes from.
Yeah, they make it up, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is the situation. Now let us show Jamaican people, because we want to make sure we cut this tight. Finish for 8:30 to have Jeopardy. We're definitely going to have Jeopardy tonight, right? Let us show Jamaica as it relates to the crime situation, where it seems like the Jamaica Labour Party administration now is want to sell a narrative to say that they are driving down crime, right? And they are doing the country a good benefit and so forth, and they will invite entrepreneurs in and so forth and so forth. Now, the fuck of the matter, right? You do that through extrajudiciary killing, right? It's very serious. It's very serious. The police, and when I say the police, I'm not going to generalize, right? Because majority of the men and women who make up the police force, right, are offering effective service. We are talking about the few that gone rogue and the few that Andrew Holness administration had chosen to become JP operatives, because we know that what is going on, right? You see, from time to time, Andrew Holness with them want them to give them false crime statistics. I am going to show Jamaica something where the Jamaica Constabulary Force is working in tandem as a result of Andrew Holness choices in terms of select, as it relates to the Commissioner of Police and other gazetted officers who are aiding and abetting Andrew Holness' lie to be sold to the people. We are going to show evidence where the Jamaica Constabulary Force is hiding the crime, the murder rate figures. Don't worry about that. You can't have a government manipulating figures, lying to the Jamaican people to say that, okay, everything is okay and crime is going down. It is not true. So here tonight, Mystic Sensation is going to prove that the Jamaica Labour Party, along with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, are manipulating the figures. Evidence, we are going to get into that evidence and show the people. Now, without any delay, let us put up Andrew Holness here, right? Because we like to show our evidence, you know, right? And make sure we give our people the evidence to show what is happening, right? You can't be doing this. People's lives are in danger, and you have to tell
requires
the people
safety and security. Indeed, you can't grow your economy if there is insecurity. And that has been a challenge for Jamaica for the last 4 decades, if not more. But certainly within the last 3 decades, crime and violence, insecurity has been a challenge to our economy. We could be growing at 5% or more were it not for the impact of the security issues that we face. We have achieved today a remarkable reduction in crime as indexed by the murder rate. We are 35% fewer murders today than today last year. And there are those who will say, I still don't feel safe. And that might be the case. There is always a lag when it comes to these matters of security. Lap-up surveys are always a paradox. When you ask people, have you ever been a victim of crime? Have you seen crime in your community? The percentage is usually a very high no. But then when you ask, what's your greatest concern? Crime. And that's because fear imagined is as real as fear experienced. And so if every day you're fed a diet of fear, whether or not you experience it or imagining it, it is going to have that impact on your outlook and your perception. And so as the administration, we cannot give in to the proclivity and tendency to accentuate the negatives only.
Okay, my Jamaican people, let me show you something. Andrew Holness spoke about crime, that crime is a problem in Jamaica, right? And let me say this, right? Categorically clear. Okay, that is part and parcel of the problem. Yes, the crime situation is part and parcel of the problem. But the real problem that we have as it relates to the failure of our economy and why our economy is struggling is corruption.
Yes.
People, I'm going to prove it to you. The real problem that we have is corruption. Before I show you the manipulation of the Jamaica Constabulary Force working in tandem with the JLP administration, let me show you the Jamaica Corruption Index in terms of what happened. To show you that crime, right, is only a part and parcel of the problem. But the problem primary problem that we have in Jamaica, my people, right, is corruption. It's really corruption. Now, here it is. Let me show you people that Andrew Holness' level of corruption is what bring down this economy. Here it is, people. Jamaica scored 44 points out of 100 on the 2024 Corruption Perception Index, reported by Transparency International. Corruption index in Jamaica averaged 38.60 points from 1998 until 2024, reaching an all-time high of 44 points in 2017 and a record low of 30 points in 2009. That is when the Bruce Golding era, right? And now, based on what is happening, we had lost 4 more points, right, where that is concerned, right? So let us take this away. Now, let us get into the trickery of the day and show the people, right, that the major concern that we have is the corruption as it relates to Andrew Holness' administration. The corruption. Now, people, look at this. We are going to show you how Jamaica Constabulary Force manipulating the data. Now, let us get into it. Let us get into that. Showing how the Jamaica Constabulary Force, right? Okay. Let us play that video clip with Andrew Holness before we get into the manipulation.
Promise. I make commitment. If you want to live safe in your yard, if you want to be able to fall asleep and let your door open, and wake up in the morning and still be alive, you cannot make the mistake of putting in the bill. All well-thinking Jamaicans should raise their voice in concert against the high levels of crime and against the government in not doing enough in controlling crime. Let's go to my bed with these things on my conscience. I know that I have tried. It's a minefield. The 10-year-old didn't have to die. Why? Why?
With all the catastrophe as it relates to Andrew Holness' administration, look on the Jamaica Constabulary Force statistics, and I'm going to show Jamaica something here. JCF government.jm statistics. Let us prove it tonight. What we are going to show. The suppression of the crime stats. Now look here, people. This is evidence what we are talking about. Andrew Holness' administration is suppressing the truth. So let us get to the truth and show the Jamaican people. Now, let us get to it. Right? In 2012, as it relates to Portia Simpson era and Peter Bunting being the security minister, 1,102. 2013, 1,202. 2014, 1,005. Remember, Andrew Holness criticized the People's National Party that he will be able, his administration will be able to have Jamaican people sleep with their door open. That is a clip that I just played. Andrew Holness criticized the People's National Party that his administration is going to be able to have Jamaicans sleep with their door open. Look at this, 2015, 1,208. This is where Portia Simpson handed over to PJ Potts, to Andrew Holness. Now, let us look at Andrew Holness' era in comparison to People's National Party. 2016, here it is, 1,354, right? Remember, Portia Simpson did not see that figure. There it is. Go back 2012 to 2015, 1,208, and to honest 2016, see a figure for the first time, 1,354. In 2017, that increased under Andrew Honest, 1,647. Now, 2018, they managed to brought it down to 1,287. 2019, we see the trend begun again, trending up, 1,339. 2020, 1,323. 2021, no information there. People, no information there. Let us go to 7. No information, it stopped. People, my Jamaican people, why you think it stopped? The Jamaica Constabulary Force decided that they are not going to publish these things because the 2021, right, crime stat is only seen Andrew Honest, the 2021, 2022, and 2023, right, crime stat is only seen Andrew Honest administration, right, getting out of control with the crime stat, right? Andrew Honest administration is not managing crime. It is the crime that managing Andrew Honest administration. Let us go to the evidence and show people. So here, people, 2021, blank. 2022, nothing. Let me show you, people. They stopped from reporting nothing over there. There it is, blank. The Jamaica Constabulary Force in collusion with JP administration in hiding the information, suppressing the information. So can we believe them about the information relating to 2024? Can we believe them? No, we can't. Let us go to the evidence and show the people the comparison of the evidence. Let us get to the real statistics, WW statistics, right? Let us show the statistics of the real murder rate now and show you where Andrew Honest administration along with the Jamaica Constabulary Force is suppressing the information. Now, people, here it is. Let us start from 2021. Why do you think they did not show the 2021? Here it is, 2021, 1,474. This is the reason why Jamaica Constabulary Force did not show the 2021 crime stat. Right? Now, here it is, people. 2020 is where JCF left it, 1,323. Right? This is where they left it in terms of the clip that I show you. The 2021 missing. Why it is missing? Because the 2021 crime stat is 1,474. Let us go to the 2022 in terms of the missing information and the suppression between Jamaica Constabulary Force and Jamaica Labour Party administration, suppressing the information and lying to the Jamaican people. Let us look on 2022. 2022, you see what happened, people? Look for yourself, people. What happened? 2022, The murder rate is 1,498. Right? 1,498. And the Jamaica Constabulary Force is suppressing this information. Now, 2023, as I come to them, they carried down. And 2024, 1,141, which this figure, right, is what, again, they're manipulating. So this goes to show you the manipulation of the Jamaica Labour Party administration. The Jamaica Constabulary Force hiding the information. So 2021, which is 1,474, 2022, 1,498. So then who wants a government? Who is going to believe a government that is lying to the people? Take that away. Take that away. Now, Pastor Ricky, close the night for us as it relates to what I just showed the Jamaican people. Your Andrew Holness suppressing, lying. Andrew Holness along with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and that is why they choose the commissioner that they want to choose to put there to help lie. And that is why Andrew Holness going around Jamaica talking to superintendent and this and asking them about all of this is to deceive the Jamaican people. Stop lying to the Jamaican people. Crime is not down. Stop lying. Full evidence that we have established tonight. Take it away and closing out, Pastor Ricky.
I appreciate you talking about this topic tonight, because this is a lie that the Prime Minister is setting the stage to include crime is down for his political campaign, to use it to help him to try to win the general election. Unfortunately, a few comrades have embraced this lie, which bothers me and makes me start wonder, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Now, I did a calculation on those bogus numbers because they're underreported for each year. And I'll tell you why I say that in a moment. But I did a calculation on those underreported numbers, deflated numbers. And even though those numbers were underreported and deflated, from 2016 to the end of 2024 last year, December 31st, the total number of homicide under this prime minister is astonishing. 12,454 people died under his watch in 9 years. Let me say it again. 12,454 people died in 9 years under the prime minister's watch. No other prime minister in the history of Jamaica has ever recorded that amount of homicide, and the numbers were still underreported and deflated. Now, here's why I said the numbers underreported and deflated, and all the comrades need to listen to this, because if we're going to allow this government to use bogus numbers to try to create a narrative that crime is down, then we are playing right into their hands. And we're not going to deal with that. We're not supposed to support lies and deception. We are a party of honesty and integrity. This is why the sentiments of the people have turned towards the People's National Party, because they trust what we're putting out there and they trust what we're saying. Now, big up Rattigan, Sir Rattigan. And I asked him last week, but maybe he forgot. Could you tomorrow on your show take 10 minutes out of the 5 hours where you have and go back over them crime numbers here and the 4 different categories? Rattigan says that he filed some ATIs, and I had an opportunity to see a document that came from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And on that document, Rattigan, if you can go back over it tomorrow, would appreciate it, man, because this lie that this government is trying to build on now for the election needs to be demolished. In that document, there are 4 different categories of homicide that is not recorded yearly. Why? Because Jamaica only have 1 pathologist, government pathologist, and if there's a homicide that's taken place, they're not going to release the body to the family until that one government pathologist conducts an autopsy to determine the cause of death. You can try to hire private pathologists, but they're not going to release the body to you because it's a homicide. That's how Jamaica operates, and everybody knows that. Now, the document that Rattigan received, this is the JCF document, state that there's 4 different categories of homicide that is not recorded because they have not determined the cause of death. And Rattigan even count back, and I saw it too on the same document, from 2016 up until last year, there was still a number of hundreds of outstanding deaths that weren't included annually in those numbers. And so what we're seeing that the category of missing people, suicide, and death investigation. Oh, by the way, death investigation and missing people are the 2 largest categories of death that is not reported in those from 2016 to 2024.
Yes.
And so, and I asked last week when you and I was on Father, big up Father Lonesome, when we were on the Titans and Corporal Ron James was on and Superintendent Knight was on, I had the privilege of asking him that question about the not counting missing people and death by investigation. And he's a police officer in the JC, and he said, yes, that's true. I had an opportunity when Sir Rattigan was on your program, and Comrade Steve McGregor, Superintendent Steve McGregor was on, and Sir Rattigan asked him the same question, and he admit, yes, there's a death investigation category of homicide. So Jamaicans, listen, they stopped telling you how much people died every month. They used to give us a number, a figure. They stopped doing it because they're hiding the truth. What they're doing now is giving you a percentage. Crime is down by 19%. Crime is down by 22%. Crime is down by 25% when compared to the same time last year. Crime is down by 30% when compared to the same time last year. Crime is down by 35%. But lie. The numbers last year was incorrect because there's still categories of debt that was not included.
So true.
So if crime is down, that means they're basing it upon a bogus number that the JCF put out to hide the truth. And so we cannot allow the Prime Minister to continue to spread the narrative that crime is down. We don't support criminal, whether you're in the pulpit in our church, whether you're in a corporate, whether you're in the banking system, whether you're in the parliament, or whether you're on the street as a gang. If he's a criminal, he's a threat and a menace to society, and you should be behind bars. But what we now support is the extrajudicial killings, where you're taking the law into your hands and using that to say crime is down. Crime is not down in Jamaica. Last point, Secretary Marco Rubio visit Jamaica on March 27th. Yeah, when he came to the Caribbean. And in the press conference between, and we all have the video, in the press conference between Secretary Rubio and the Prime Minister said to him that crime is going down. We have a new set of numbers, and he presented it to Secretary Rubio. Rubio's response was, okay, I will go back and look at it, and we will make a decision about the travel advisory, because they're worried about the travel advisory, that it's hurting tourism and the economy. And Rubio never promised to lift or reduce the travel advisory. What he said was, we will review the numbers that you're presenting. Lo and behold, my fellow Jamaicans, 12 days later, you can Google it. On April the 8th, you can Google this information. The United States State Department says they're not revising the travel advisory to Jamaica and other Caribbean islands, and they tell you why. When it came to the section about Jamaica, it says crime is extremely high in Jamaica.
Exactly.
And also the medical care in Jamaica, the health conditions was deplorable. Those were the two reasons that since 2023 or 2024, last year, 2024, 2 years in a row, the travel advisory has been there. And this year, Rubio had an opportunity to review it and review what's happening with intelligence that America has on Jamaica. And they said crime is extremely high in Jamaica. And they recommend to all United States citizens to reconsider traveling to Jamaica. It's still at a level 3 to this day.
That is true.
Crime is not down. So don't let the Prime Minister deceive you and lie to you, because he must set the narrative for use this as an initiative in his election campaign. We need to stand against these lies and stop embracing it and hugging it up and say, yes, crime is down. Crime is not down.
True. Fully agree with you, Pastor Ricky. It's not done. Right? No, I want to say to all the people who passed through tonight, big thanks. Right, Pastor Ricky, yes, you had done extremely well. Right, excellent analyst there coming from Pastor Ricky. Love that. And you know, unfortunately, for some reason, Melting Pot did not show, but you know, hope for the next coming days, Melting Pot will be in the spotlight. Right, I hope all is well where Melting Pot is concerned. So Pastor Ricky will be sending out his prayers where that is concerned.
But you know,
I want to say a big thanks to all. Can
I just say one more 30
yes,
seconds?
Go ahead, Pastor Ricky.
I wanted to say that, but it slipped me. When we agree that crime is down, the People's National Party, he's gonna run on this point, this point that crime is down, and because we're saying crime is down along with him, and it's a lie. Him take with a talking point there from we, and we cannot debunk it once him start run on it. We can't fall into his trap, and that's what he said in the trap for us.
Well, exactly. All right, look at what he's saying. Crime is down, but corruption is up. We don't know if that you want to say. Crime is down and corruption is up. So yeah, that goes to his trickery. Right. All right. So again, we want to say big thanks to Pastor Ricky as always, you know, being here.
Happy Mother's Day, Lady Anne Marie, when it comes.
Thank you. Delivering for the people, right? You know, we appreciate that. And for all the persons who passed and show Mystic Sensation, I want to say big thanks, right? We love our brothers and sisters. And our brothers and sisters, they're here, you know, giving us the energy to go on. And so, of course, we want a better Jamaica. We want to see Ibrahim Traoré light, and we know that Mark Golding have that, right? And of course, why Jamaica cannot be like Burkina Faso? It can. It can. All we need to do, eliminate corruption as it relates to anti-honest, and make sure that we look out for our people in terms of strong policies that benefit our people, not neo-colonialist, right? Not neo-colonialist. We need to make sure that our backside being protected, right, and benefit our Jamaican people, not neo-colonialists. So we want to say big thanks as I hand it over to Wifey for Jeopardy. Wifey,
all right, have a blessed night, blessed weekend. Thank you.
Bless yourself, Pastor Ricky. We'll talk later.
Come on. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Pastor Ricky. Have a wonderful weekend. Okay. Okay, thank you guys so much to everyone who participated in the discussion. Really appreciate each and every one. We know you could have been elsewhere, but you chose to be with us, and we do not take that for granted. So now we are going to start Jeopardy, where we play for credit. We're playing for Jamaican credit, digital or flow. So let me just bring up it here. Just take off the logo so you can see. All right, so tonight's categories are science, current affairs, countries and capitals, mathematics, and religious knowledge. So we are Playing for 1,000 Jamaican dollars credit, Digicel or Flow for the person with the most points at the end of the game. And then we'll have 4 runners up of $500 each, Jamaican, Digicel or Flow. So to start with, I need someone to throw out a category and for how many points. And the person who answers correctly will choose the next category, and we will continue like that until the game is finished. If you're answering for a place or thing, then it is what is, and then the answer, if it's the name of a person, then it's who is, and then the answer. So someone throw out a category and for how many points, and then the first one, second draw. The first one that I see, that's what we're going to agree one. Mm-hmm. The first one that I see, we're going to start with
this one.
Gray.
I don't see it. Oh, yes.
1 second.
We want to hide it.
All right, I see current affairs. And okay, yeah, Devon saying Happy Mother's Day to all your wonderful mothers in the chat when it comes. Thank you so much, Devon. And yes, from us, Happy Mother's Day on Sunday when it comes to all the mothers in the chat, and also to all the fathers who are playing the role of mothers. Have a wonderful and blessed day when it comes. I hope you'll get the pampering that you deserve. So bless upon yourself. Okay, so current affairs. And that was for 100 points. The area of Jamaica in square miles. How many square miles is Jamaica in measurement? Where's the black? Give me the black one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
All right, let me just get this device. How many square miles is Jamaica? Oh, Pat is calling.
Pat is calling? Oh, jeez.
She just called. Somebody's answering.
Mm-hmm.
No one is answering.
No, I'm gonna go this one. Because I started Jeopardy already. So
sorry guys. So Nia came in first with that answer there for 100 points. So Nia, choose the next category and for how many points? Math for 300. Write 60% as a decimal. Write 60% as a decimal.
Jeez.
60% as a decimal. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is 0.60, as well as you can leave off the trailing 0. And that is for 300 points. So let's see who first came in with the correct response. Nia for 300, and others also came in with 0.60 or 0.6.
So Nia brought it up.
So choose the next category and for how many points? Math for 500. A painter charges $225 for materials and $35 per hour for labor. The total cost of painting an office is $330. Number of hours it took the painter to paint the office. How many hours did it take a painter to paint the office? And it's a double your score answer. So you're going to get that 500 points, and then the overall score is going to be doubled. So a painter charges $225 for materials and $35 per hour for labor. The total cost of painting an office is $330. What are the number of hours that it took to paint the office? All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, no delays, and it is what is 3 hours. So what you do, you take away the cost of the material from the total charge, because it says it charges $225 per material, and then it's another $35 per hour for its labor. So when you take 225 from 330, then you have 105, and then you divide the remainder by the cost per hour of its labor, which is 105 divided by 35 equals 3. So it took him 3 hours, right? That is for 500 points. So let's see. Naya, 3 hours.
Yeah, again?
So 500 and then double her points.
What?
All right, choose the next category and for how many points?
Wow. May I burn up the place, man?
She on fire tonight. And she's saying math for 400. A factory produced 2,300 TV sets in its first year of production. 4,500 sets were produced in its second year, and 500 more sets were produced in its third year than in its second year. This many TV sets were produced in 3 years. So a factory produced 2,300 TV sets in its first year of production. 4,500 sets were produced in its second year, and 500 more sets were produced in its third year than it's in its second year. This many TV sets were produced in 3 years. What?
Yeah, again?
Minevan. I'm waiting on the answers. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is 11,800 televisions that were produced in the 3 years. So you had the 2,300 from the first year to the 4,500 sets that were produced in the second year, you get 6,800. And then the other part said it produced 500 more in the third year than it did in the second year. Therefore, you add 500 to the 450 to know how many were produced in the third year, which would be 5,000, and then you add all of it together, you get 11,800, and that is for 400 points. Hope everybody understood how we got to that. All right, so first on the board it's Nia for 400 points, and everybody else also came in with the 11,800. All right, now choose the next category, and for all many points.
Who they put it on the board, you know?
Everybody. Oh my goodness. Okay, she's saying math for 200. Write the formula for the area of a triangle. Write the formula for the area of a triangle. Everybody run out. How do you find the area of a triangle? Tangerine. Happy Friday. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is half base times height. And that is how you find the area of a triangle, and that is for 200 points. Let's see who picked up those 200 points. Nia, and then
200 points, Nia?
Yep. Right, Nia, choose the next category, and for how many points?
Score as it is, the only person on the board, Nia, with 2,400 points.
Write 3/4 as a percent. Write 3/4 as a percent. I'm just saying, here's my new nemesis. Write 3/4 as a percent. Oh my goodness. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for. Nia said I was going to text the mayor of from St. Thomas. So I see the answer that I'm looking for, and that is 75%. That is for 100 points. So
is it Nia again?
No. Hold on. Donmel. 100 points.
My goodness.
All right, Donmel, choose the next category, and for how many points?
For 100 points?
Mm-hmm.
So Donmel, break the spell.
Current affairs for 300. First Jamaican to win Miss World contest. Name the first Jamaican woman to win Miss World contest. The first Jamaican woman to win Miss World contest. Oh my goodness, it keeps flying off. It's for 300 points. The first Jamaican woman to win Miss World contest. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for. And it is who is Carol Joan Crawford. If you don't have the Joan, that is still fine. All right, so Carol Joan Crawford, and that is for 300 points. Let's see who picked up those 300 points. And remember, name of a person starts with who is. All right. First on the board with the correct response is Nia for 300 points. Andrew, but what is Nia?
Nia Burkman.
Yeah. I realize. Nia, choose the next category and for how many points? Thanks for 300. The concept of gravity was discovered by this famous physicist. The concept of gravity was discovered by this famous physicist. The concept of gravity was discovered by this famous physicist. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is who is Isaac Newton, and that is for 300 points. So let's see who picked up those 300 points. Now, for 300 points, others also came in with Isaac Newton. So Nia, choose the next category. So she's continuing with science for 400. Oath of ethics taken by doctors is named after an ancient Greek physician. Oath of ethics taken by doctors is named after an ancient Greek physician. What is the oath? What is the oath called? Your device not working with your tongue. Remember, you have to start it in the form of a sentence or in the form of a question. What is, and then the answer. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. All right, so if you even don't have the oath at the end of it because you have the oath in the question, then that is fine, the oath of ethics. All right, and it is the Hippocratic Oath. All right, and that is for 400 points. All right, let's see who picked up those 400 points. Andrew for 400 points. Hush, creative minds. His device is not working with him, Andrew. So thanks for 500. Main gas that makes up the Earth's atmosphere. What is the main gas that makes up the Earth's atmosphere? Main gas that makes up the Earth's atmosphere. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for. Let's check the spellings. Okay. What is nitrogen? And fun fact, the primary gas in Earth's atmosphere is nitrogen, comprising roughly 78% of the air by volume. Oxygen makes up the second largest portion at about 21%. So oxygen and room air is 21%. Right? And that is for 500 points. Right, let's see who first came in. Nia for 500 points. Nia for 500 points.
Okay.
Okay, she's saying thanks for 200. Number of bones in the human body. The number of bones in the human body. Number of bones in the human body. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is 206. So 206 bones make up the human body. So let's see. Nia for 200 points. Okay, she's completing science. Andrew wants to know the score.
Okay, so the score as it is, Dunmel, 100 points, Andrew, 400 points, Nia, 3,700 points, and you can't catch her back.
Tiffany, hope you saw I sent you credit this evening because that game where you were tied with Charmin and you said give it to Charmin, I still have not heard from Charmin regarding a number. I waited and I waited, so I gave you the credit. I made a mistake. Instead of putting Digicel, I put Flow, but then I corrected it. So hopefully the credit came over to you. Let me know if you didn't get it. All right, so science for 100. Material that will not carry an electric charge. So what do you call materials that will not conduct electricity? Let me put it that way. So materials that will not conduct electricity. What do you call those materials? Bless up yourself, Ricardo. Hope studying is going well.
Well, Ricardo there. God bless up yourself.
Pull himself away from his studies to join us tonight.
All right.
Bless up yourself, Ricardo. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is installator. So installator is what name is given to things that do not conduct electricity, and that is for 100 points. So Ricardo for 100 points.
Well,
all right, so choose the next category and for how many points, Ricardo? Just refresh because it's checked. Yes, Ricardo, you got it. Choose the next category. Okay, current affairs for 200. High school Usain Bolt attended. Everybody run out. Which high school did Usain Bolt attend? Let's say everybody run out. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is what is William Knibb. Or it's William Knibb Memorial High School. That is the name proper. So whichever one I see first will be awarded. Okay, Ricardo for 200 points. So choose. No, Andrew, you put electrical insulators. You cannot put electrical in front of it. Yes, because that's a totally different thing when you put electrical in front of it. You're naming a device. All right, 400 current affairs. Minister of Foreign Affairs. Who is the current Minister of Foreign Affairs? Who is the current Minister of Foreign Affairs? Remember, name of a person. Who is name of a if you're just answering for a place or a thing, then it's what is. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is who is Kamina Johnson Smith, and that is for 400 points. So let me refresh and see where we are at. Ricardo for 400 points. He redeemed himself and others. Everybody else.
400 points.
Kamina Johnson, but some people left out this.
For 400 points?
Yes.
So, for as it is, that Melon 100 points, Andrew 400 points, Ricardo 700 points, and Nia 3,700 points.
All right, so he is saying current affairs for 500. Chief of Defense Staff for Jamaica Defense Force. Name the Chief of Defense Staff for Jamaica Defense Force. Tiffany. Your defense. Oh my goodness. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is who is Rear Admiral Antoinette Wemyss Gorman, female, right? And that is for 500 points. So let's see who picked up those 500 points. It's cracking me up. All right. Okay, let me go back up. Ricardo for 500 points. All right, choose the next category. We have 2 categories left, so choose the next category, Ricardo, and for how many points? Religious knowledge for 100. He received the 10 commandments from God on Mount Sinai. Everybody run out. He received the 10 commandments from God on Mount Sinai. Everybody run out, making a Sunday school teacher proud. Show them son never go Sunday school for just the sucked up and the cheese tricks. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is who is Moses? And the fun fact, the tablets in brackets with the 10 commandments, close brackets, were then placed in the Ark of the Covenant for safekeeping. That is for 100 points. So let's see who picked up those 100 points. Ricardo. Everybody else also came in with Moses.
100 points?
Yes. Too bad, so you're not serious. All right. So religious knowledge for 200. The first person to come upon the injured man in the parable of the Good Samaritan. The first person to come upon the injured man in the parable of the Good Samaritan. Who was the first person to come upon the injured man in the road? All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it was actually a priest was the first person. A fun fact, in the parable of the Good Samaritan, the first person to pass the injured man was a priest who crossed the road and continued walking. The second person to pass the injured man was a Levite, a priest's assistant. He also crossed the road and continued walking without helping the man. The third person to come by was a Samaritan, a person from Samaria. And the church continues to do that until today. They turn a blind eye. No assistance. God should come and ask for all the money that was collected in his name. All of them gone to prison.
One of them sealed.
Anyways, let's leave that alone. All right. Next category, and for how many points? So, Ricardo, next category. How many points? Ricardo, so you must write down in points. You wrote down Ricardo's points?
Much. I'm going to just write them 100.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to win?
200.
200?
You might keep a close eye on you now.
Okay. So the score as it is: Dan Mellon 100 points, Andrew 400 points, Ricardo 1,500 points, and Nia 3,700.
Okay, let's jump into countries and capitals for 200. Capital city that can be translated as good ears. So the capital city that can be translated as good ears. So you give me the capital city. There's a city when you call the name, it can be translated as good ears. Right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is Buenos Aires. So Buenos Aires, and that is for 200 points. Let's see who picked up those 200 points. John Mel for 200 points.
For 200 points?
Yeah. And we also have others coming in with Buenos Aires as well. So, Don Mel, choose the next category and for how many points? All right, CAC for 300. Famous for being in the film Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio, Freetown is in this country. Famous for being in the film Blood Diamond with Leonardo DiCaprio, Freetown is in this country. Which country do you find Freetown? All right, I see the answer. That is, come again. Because you have to watch your spelling. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is Sierra Leone, and that is for 300 points. So let's see who picked up those 300 points. Tiffany for 300 points.
Right, Tiffany on the board.
All right, Tiffany, choose the next category and for how many points? Shatuta or Fifi? Go and blow your Fifi, yeah. Tiffany, no, Ricardo blow Fifi for Tiffany. Choose the next category, Tiffany, and for how many points? This city is famous for its wall that was knocked down in 1989, and I remember watching that on TV growing up. This city is famous for its wall that was knocked down in 1989, and it's a double point answer. All right, and I see the answers that I am looking for, and it is what is Berlin? So the Berlin Wall was knocked down. All right, and that is for 400 points. So that's 800 because it's a double point answer. So let's see who picked up those 800 points. Creative Minds, 800 points.
Creative Mind?
800 points. And others also came in with
800 points for Creative Mind, right?
And they want to know the score.
Okay. Now, Daniel, 300 points. Andrew, 400 points. Tiffany, 300 points. Creative Mind, 800 points. And Naya, 3,700 points. Ricardo, 1,500 points coming on one theater.
All right, he's doing 500 for countries and capitals. If you are praying at the Wailing Wall, you are in this capital city. So if you are praying at the Wailing Wall, you are in this capital city. Name the city. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is Jerusalem. Jerusalem. And that is for 500 points. Let's see who picked up those 500 points. Creative Minds.
500 points for Creative
500 points. Regardless of what watching. Others also came in with Jerusalem. Regardless, Andrew asked me for what a record deal. Don't make any money, Andrew. All right. So, Creative Minds, choose the next category and for how many points? We only have one left on CNC, and then RK we have 3. All right, so choose the next category and for how many points? Let me refresh because this chat seemed to be. You don't have to type out it. You can abbreviate it CC and or RK. Okay. So which category? CC or RK, and for how many points? CC for 100. Okay. San Jose is the capital of this country. Name the country. San Jose is the capital of this country. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is Costa Rica, and that is for 100 points. Let's see who picked up those 100 points. Oh, come on. Nia, for 100 points. Okay, Nia, how many? So we only have religious knowledge left. You just need to just put the points. You don't have to put the RK or religious knowledge, just the amount of points that you want. Went through quick tonight. It's serious. Yeah, Creative Minds want to put you on timeout. All right, so how many points, Nia?
Nia, bud them up tonight.
Nia, drip them up. All right, 300. In the gospel, according to John, this apostle doubted Jesus' resurrection until he saw Jesus with his own eyes. In the gospel, according to John, this apostle doubted Jesus' resurrection until he saw Jesus with his own eyes. And that is for 300 points. Everybody run out. All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is. Oh, I didn't. Thomas. So who is Thomas? And that hence you get the term doubtful Thomas. That is for 300 points. So first on the board with the correct response is Ricardo.
And how many points?
300.
300.
And others also came in with they get rusty. All right, so Ricardo says 400. And it's a double point answer. Finish this verse. In every battle, you will need faith as your dash to stop the fiery arrows aimed at you by Satan. Finish the verse. In every battle, you will need faith as your dash to stop the fiery arrows aimed at you by Satan. And that is for 800 points. All right, I see the answer that I'm looking for, and it is what is shield. So you'll need faith as your shield to stop the fiery arrows aimed at you by Satan, and that is for 800 points. Let's see who picked up those 800 points, because I saw several shields floating. So we started there. Ricardo.
What?
800 points.
800 points?
That meant some using mark golden at the shield. All right. And so
Ricardo, 800 points, right?
Yes. So we're down to the last one, 500. So I'm just gonna reveal that. Number of books in the New Testament. Hold on for what?
So double points?
Yes, 800 points. Just 800 points only to his score.
Okay.
Number of books in the New Testament. How many books are in the New Testament? All right, I see the answer that I am looking for, and it is what is 27. So there are 27 books in the New Testament. Fun fact, the New Testament contains 27 books. It's divided into 4 main sections. The Gospels, which has Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, the Acts of the Apostles, the Epistles, which are the letters, and the Book of Revelation. And that is for 500 points. So let's see who picked up those 500 points. Ricardo, 500 points. And the board is empty. Right? So we have come to the end of Jeopardy. Thank you guys so much for your participation. Congratulations to those who were able to answer. Congratulations to those who made the board, and congratulations to all the winners tonight. The race is not for the swift, but for those who can endure to the end.
But Daniel and Tiffany has to answer one more question. They're both 300.
And how many persons on the board?
4.
How many persons in all made the board?
So I'm saying 6.
Okay, so we need.
So we need Daniel and Tiffany.
All right. So Daniel and Tiffany is tied for 5th place. So let's bring up another template, and let me just go through it here. Let me just find a template. With this time. All right. All right. So this is just for Daniel and Tiffany. So either one of you gives me a category, and for how many points. And my next door neighbors, my friend, credit to no work for me. Okay, Daniel said plans for 100. All right, plans for 100. And remember, this is just for Tiffany and Daniel. This part of a plant helps keep the plant firmly in the ground. This part of a plant helps keep the plant firmly in the ground. Okay, let's transfer. Oop, Daniel got delayed, and it is what is root. So the roots keep it firmly planted in the ground, and that is for 100 points. Let's see. So Tiffany.
All right. So Tiffany hit that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there we have it, right? So of course, so we have Tiffany made that with 400 points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
In 5th place, Andrew, 400 points on the board as well. 4th place, third, Creative Mind with 1,300 points. Ricardo with 3,100 points. And of course, Nia box up and beat up Ricardo butt tonight with 3,800 points.
All right, so Creative Mind is our neighbor. I know that he said the credit wouldn't work for me. Let me see what he says down the line. Tiffany.
Big up yourself, Creative Mind.
Okay, so he says he's helping Tiffany.
Okay.
So are you saying I should give your credit to Tiffany Creative Mind? So Creative Mind said how many points for him? That was 1,300
300 points.
Yeah, you came third. God, that's a bad mind, but
we're not answering tonight today.
You're not answering, no. AKA Bagger.
No, I'm not answering, AKA Bagger and cheesecake.
AKA Bagger. All right, so let me see nobody on there of everybody's number. Nia, you want me to use the same number that you gave me? Oh, with the last question. Okay. So do you have someone you want the number, the credit sent to Creative Mind? You can why am I still stop sharing? Okay, so as you know, the WhatsApp number is streaming across the screen, so you can message me with the number that you want the credit sent to, and that could be a Jamaican number, and you need to say whether it's Digicel or Flow. Okay, so you have to say whether it is Digicel or Flow for the number. All right, and Don Mel is saying, thank you, Mystic Temptation, for another wonderful evening. See you on Reason with Ratigan tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Jamaican time and 3 o'clock New York time. And Mystic Sensation on Tuesday evening.
Here you go.
Yes, Tiffany, yeah, I did see that your answer came in before Creative.
Yeah, man, Tiffany, you had gotten the points.
Yeah, she got the point. Creative.
So you're on the board, Tiffany.
One mic. Second. All right. So we have come to the end of our broadcast. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful and blessed Mother's Day on Sunday for all the mothers, and for all the fathers who are in the role. Have a wonderful and blessed day as well on Mother's Day. All right, so thank you so much for nurturing our future generation. All right, showing them the right way and trying to carve out a path for them for a better Jamaica. All right, 404 number. Okay, all right, let me write that down beside your thing, Tiffany, so I don't forget. You may have to bring down Baron. Somebody want to bring it down back. I want to bring it down. Guess who wants to bring it down?
Cheesecake.
Oreo cheesecake.
Oreo cheesecake.
AKA Baga.
AKA Baga.
Yes, he was there earlier, but you know, sometimes it goes with him if he gets a call out. Okay, so creative mindset to give Tiffany is credit. Okay. Let me just make a note of that. Look at them get loose. Let me just make a note of that. Oh, on this one. Stir this way, not that way. All right. So creative mind and Tiffany.
Okay.
All right. Again, thank you so much, guys, and have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Make sure you get some rest for those of you who will not be working, and those who are going to be working like myself and Baron. Hope work will not be too bad this weekend. And have a safe travel on the gravel. One love. Bless up.
Peace.